Hello again, 8th grade. This video is mainly just to go over, once again, a little bit about what this project is and also kind of how I walk through my first day of my project, which is essentially making a computer game for the internet, computer interactive simulation, whatever you want to call it, that has a ball going down a ramp and you can change different things, you can collect data from it. I can guarantee you that this is a very complex project. It will take me a very long time. But when you're doing stuff, I had actually quite a few good ideas, and it was kind of exciting me when I was reading through all of the Google Form submissions early afternoon. We had a lot of people doing research on viruses, which makes sense because that's kind of the big reason why we're not in school right now. We had some people doing a lot of cool experiments. I had someone trying to build an elevator, like a hydraulic elevator, not like a real big one, I would assume, but just something that can lift something up off the ground. Um, Someone doing a computer game simulation with stars and galaxies and things like that. I don't know, it was just quite a lot of different things, and it was good to see that you guys have a lot of different interests, and we're coming up with lots of creative ways to show that you've learned something. So, with that, um, something that I posted yesterday after a Zoom meeting, which I might hold another one at 2:30 today, which is technically after school, maybe during study hall hour too, just so you have a chance to ask questions. It wouldn't be mandatory by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll post that on Google Classroom when I figure that out, like what time will work best. Um, Might actually be 2:30 since my wife is going into work today, and I want to dedicate the time to you guys and not my children, which study hall is pretty much during their lunchtime. Otherwise, I had posted this yesterday during my Zoom meeting because someone had asked for me to post it, and I had it ready to go. But you've got an e-learning progress report, project progress report. That's where you are going to be filling in kind of your progress for the day. Um, Yours is going to look exactly like mine is right now since I haven't filled mine in yet. And then there's an example which I'll fill in during this video. Okay. So just walk you through kind of what I did with my project so far. To summarize, I did learn a few things, but overall my project so far is not going well. So really, since I knew what I was trying to do, and I highly doubt that anyone has done it before because I can't find anything. I can't Google how to make an HTML5 game with a ramp and a ball, and someone will show me how to make it. So, as close as I can get, and I'm going to have to kind of make a different game first before I can make my own game. I need to learn the basics before I can go on and make something a little bit more customized to what I want. I just Googled how to make an HTML5 game. And this was the video I watched. I'll probably mute it here. Mute it. Okay, so I watched through this video. I didn't get all the way through because once I got to this part where he's talking about let's open it in Chrome, I could not get anything to open up like he had. And there was an error that popped up at first, and I fixed that error. It didn't pop up anymore, but it still wouldn't open. Now, the issue I was having, if I make this full screen, you can see it too, is I cannot read the text that well. I had to like get really close to the screen, and it's still very blurry. And it's very, very important when you are doing any kind of computer code that you have the correct spelling, the correct symbols, and this is kind of what I came up with before I just stopped and decided to find a new source. So I was just copying what he had at this point. Obviously, there's either an issue with the fact that this was made in 2016, and there's probably been a lot of changes to Chrome since then, and the language behind it, which is HTML, or CSS, which is cascading style sheets. It makes web pages like the font the same for everything, or the JavaScript, which is I don't know if I even did any JavaScript yet. Not really. I had one line of JavaScript. And that was just bringing in a package of code. So there was an issue somewhere, and I couldn't figure out where it was because I don't have a lot of experience in this particular language. So I decided to find a new source. Um, what this code should have done, if I'm in the right place. So when I open that up, I should have had this weird long finger of brown, which was going to be a mole. And I didn't even get to the point where I was going to put on the faces that I had made. Um, but this would not show up when I did this. I could even drag it in there and show you exactly what it looks like when I did it. Open it up. I did the things that he told me to do, and it's just this blank empty screen. There's no scroll bar, which he said I should be able to scroll down and see my mole, but I could not. So I tried some of the things that I could think of using my experience as programming database for other reasons and just couldn't do it. The other thing that I did notice, because I have watched a couple other videos briefly to figure out how to make an HTML5 game, is this one didn't create what's known as a canvas, which is pretty much just a box on the screen. Like this YouTube video is in a box, which is known as a canvas on the web browser. It didn't have me make a canvas, and all of the other articles I've read or videos I've watched have had you make a canvas. So those were some of the clues that let me know that maybe I should try to find a different source. So what I'm going to do today, it's obviously the next step, is to find a different source. So I might watch some of these other videos. I might try to find an article. If I can't read what's on the screen again, then at least I can read the article and I won't have an issue with poor video quality, making it so I can't read the text. But really, right now, whole lot of failure. Spent half an hour or so one day this weekend doing this. So obviously, you might think that it's a complete waste of time, but I did see kind of how one kind of language called cascading style sheets works. It's similar, like this period here is similar to what I've done in other languages like Java. I did see kind of the general setup of how this web page is going to be set up with all the different HTML parts, but there was a lot of differences compared to what I've seen before. So I guess I'll just find a different source. So really what you could have done if you did a video to show your progress for the day is you wouldn't have had to explain as much as I did, but you could have just said, here is my code. You could have given a link to that code or whatever you made, whether it was a picture of your comic book that day, a picture of your board game that you're making, progress so far, a video of what you did for an experiment that day, anything like that. Just a brief video, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to show me what you did and what it looks like. You can also obviously just give me the link to whatever you're making, if it's a Google Doc or a Google slideshow or a link to a picture. I could link to this notepad if I put it on my Google Drive. Right now it's not. Um, but if we go back to Classroom, to my example, I can fill in the written description here. So, found video that to make what I'm assuming would have been a whack-a-mole game. So I found a YouTube video that showed me how to make a whack-a-mole game in HTML5. I watched and copied code first. I think it was around 10 minutes, but I could double check here soon. I got to the point where I tested it in Chrome. Code wouldn't work, it wouldn't do anything. So what were some of the other things? What I'm going to do next, I'll do for sure, but I just want to make sure I've got what you did that day, what you learned, what worked well, what didn't. Okay, so the video, the code was very hard to read. Um, that made it so I'm not sure if I had everything copied down right. In the programming or coding world, one letter, one symbol being wrong is enough to make the whole thing not work, even if the other parts are fine. So that's kind of a very important part. So next, I will find another source to look at and try making a different game. Right. So links and photos. This is where I could put a link to my code if it was on my Google Classroom and just post the link here, whatever it is. Yada yada yada. The link that I could do, actually that'll go in the sources information. So I just go to that video again. Video, if you used this article on some topic like the coronavirus, you would copy the URL for that. Session title, how to code a simple game in 5. And I put that in my source area. And I put the link after. That's really what I'm looking for, just a daily progress report. Tell me some things about what you did that day, how it's going, things that went well or didn't go well. If I was going to say something that went well, I was successfully able to make some mole faces. I don't know. I never used them, but I made them. And then kind of where you're going to go from there next. So what I'm going to do today at some point is find a different source, try making a different game, see if it works better, find one that has a canvas, provide links if you have anything there. If you don't have anything at this point, you can say, I don't technically have a link, so the code didn't work, so click the link because I'm not going to use that one anymore. So my other ones aren't going to be quite this lengthy throughout this week. It's going to be more like what I would expect from you if you were going to do a video for progress, show you what I've written. I won't write it out with you. I will show you my progress on the computer game on a daily basis. Hopefully, I start having a little bit more success and my code actually works and I don't have to start over again. You know. So once again, I think I'll shoot for another 2:30 Zoom meeting in case you have questions. Mainly because I'm going to have some chaos during the lunchtime hour with my kids wanting lunch. So good luck. I hope you have fun with this. I hope you turn it into something useful, something exciting, something a little bit fun, gives you something to do that isn't a little onerous and typical school stuff. So, with that, have a good day.